Most entrepreneurs start with the same dream, financial freedom. But what if I told you that everything you've been taught about money and success in business might be completely wrong? Hi, I've been where you are retching that dream, thinking that all the right moves were just a step away. But here's the catch. All those business gurus out there, they're probably feeding you lies. Now, before you click away, let me ask you this. How many of you have been told to take loans to grow, to scale fast, or to always bet big on your first move? If you're anything like me, you've probably followed that advice. But what if I told you those beliefs could be the exact reason your business isn't growing as fast as you want? Stick around, and I'll reveal 10 financial myths that could be sabotaging your entrepreneurial journey. By the end of this video, you'll see how I broke free from these traps and how you can. 2. Backstory. When I first started my business, I thought I had it all figured out. I had the passion, the vision, and the belief that success was just a matter of putting in the hours. But that belief was built on the same myths that many of us fall for when we're new. My first mistake? Listening to everyone around me, telling me to take out loans to grow faster. I'll never forget the moment I took that loan. I thought I was being smart, getting the capital to grow my business, scale my operations, and make it big. The advice I kept hearing was simple. Borrow big, dream big. Well, I did. I borrowed. I expanded. But within months, things weren't going the way I'd planned. The loans started stacking up. The business wasn't growing fast enough to pay them off. And I realized something important too late. I was following the wrong formula. I didn't just make this mistake once. I kept listening to the wrong advice, and each time it set me back. I was caught in a cycle of trying to scale too fast. Thinking bigger meant better. But what I didn't realize was that every time I scaled without the right foundation, I was digging a deeper hole for my business. It wasn't until I hit rock bottom, facing bankruptcy and the possibility of closing shop, that I realized how wrong I was. But then, something clicked. Something that would change everything for me. So, what changed? How did I go from near bankruptcy to the business I have today? Well, it all started with one simple truth that's been hidden in plain sight. And no, it wasn't some get-rich-quick scheme. It was a shift in mindset. A shift that, once I understood it, made everything fall into place. In the next part of the video, we're going to break down some of the biggest financial myths that nearly cost me my business. If you're making these same mistakes, this video is your wake-up call. Myth 1. The bigger the loan, the faster the business grows. When I first started out, I was told that taking out loans was the key to success. The idea was, simply, if you have more money, you can scale faster, right? But here's the cold, hard truth. The bigger the loan, the bigger the pressure. I thought this was the golden ticket. I'll expand my business, hire employees, buy more equipment, I'm going to grow fast. But here's what actually happened. The loan came with interest, monthly repayments, and zero guarantee of profit. I was now shackled to a huge amount of debt without the revenue to back it up. Instead of growing, I was suffocating. I couldn't afford to take risks or experiment with new ideas because all my resources were tied up in repaying loans. I couldn't hire the right team or invest in marketing because the debt was sucking up everything. I was stuck. And the myth of needing a big loan to grow, it almost ruined me. Here's the reality. You don't need to take out a loan just to scale. In fact, taking on debt too soon can cripple your ability to innovate, create, and build a sustainable business. Instead, you need to start small. Test your idea, prove it works, then reinvest profits to grow gradually. Borrowing can be helpful, but it's a dangerous game if you're not ready. Myth 2. You need to start big to succeed. Another myth I fell for was the belief that I needed to start big. Everywhere I looked, I saw successful entrepreneurs flaunting their huge teams, massive product lines, and lavish offices. I thought to myself, if I don't start like that, I'll never make it. I took on more space than I needed, hired too many people, and purchased equipment I couldn't afford. I was all in, thinking bigger meant better. But the truth is, starting big often leads to starting too fast, and that's where the problems begin. The moment I realized my mistake was when I was spending more time managing the logistics of my big business than actually creating value for my customers. I was lost in the process, not the purpose. Big doesn't always mean successful. The truth? It's okay to start small. It's okay to build a foundation first, test your idea, and scale slowly. If I just focused on creating a product people loved, I wouldn't have rushed into unnecessary expenses. It's not about the size of your business at the beginning, it's about the impact of your work. Myth 3. Follow the success formula and you'll make it. This one's the most dangerous myth of all. Follow the formula and you'll make it. Everyone loves a good success story, and sure, there's a lot of value in learning from others. But here's the thing. What works for someone else may not work for you. I spent months, no, years trying to apply the exact strategies that other successful entrepreneurs had used. I tried everything from their marketing tactics to their hiring processes. I followed their exact paths, thinking that's how I get to where they were. But no matter what I did, I wasn't seeing the results they promised. It wasn't until I stopped copying everyone else and started focusing on what made sense for my business that things began to click. I stopped looking at every guru and started looking inward. What did I want to offer? Who was my audience? How could I create something unique? Here's the lesson. Stop blindly following success formulas. Your business is unique, and your journey should be too. Learn from others. Yes, but build your own blueprint based on your vision, your strengths, and what you truly want to achieve. You are the formula for your success. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this all sounds great, but how did this mindset change help you grow your business? Was it all just about avoiding mistakes? The truth is, there was one more challenge I had to face, one that nearly brought everything crashing down, and that's where the real test began. In the next segment, I'll share the moment when I realized that everything I'd built was on the linear, how I had to make a decision that would either save or sink my business forever. The breaking point. I thought I was over the worst. I had avoided some of the biggest financial traps, scaled slowly, and redefined my approach. But then, something happened that no one could have prepared me for. One day, out of nowhere, my business hit a wall hard. I remember the call like it was yesterday. My largest supplier informed me they were no longer able to deliver products to me on time due to some unforeseen issues on their end. I had just placed a massive order, and I was about to run out of stock. My customers were waiting for their orders, but now I was on the brink of a huge back order. In that moment, I felt everything collapsing. The debt was still there, the loans were due, and now I couldn't deliver on my promises to my customers. Everything I had worked for was hanging by a thread. I had no idea what to do next. Should I take out another loan to cover the back order and make sure I stay afloat? Should I just close the doors, give up, and walk away? I was on the edge of making the biggest mistake of my career. I felt the weight of my failures crushing me. And that's when it hit me. The moment I realized that I couldn't just throw money at this problem. It wasn't about growing fast anymore. It wasn't about just scaling. This was about survival. This was about finding a way to solve the problem without repeating the mistakes that had brought me here. Plot twist. A new perspective. The plot twist? It wasn't a quick fix, a loan, or a magical marketing strategy. The solution wasn't in the numbers, the flashy tactics, or following the success formulas. It was about returning to the fundamentals. I realized that the real challenge wasn't just fixing a supply chain issue or covering my debts. The real challenge was going back to why I started this business in the first place. What value was I truly offering? How could I turn this setback into an opportunity? I decided to engage my audience in a way I hadn't before. I didn't hide behind excuses. I didn't make promises I couldn't keep. Instead, I was transparent. I apologized for the delay, explained the situation, and offered my customers a chance to be a part of the solution. I turned the challenge into a story of collaboration, and guess what? They supported me. They understood. They trusted me more than ever. That's when the business started to pivot. I began focusing more on building strong relationships with my customers than on just chasing sales. And that shift in mindset, turning the problem into an opportunity to connect with my audience, was what ultimately saved my business. The ultimate lesson. Here's the truth though. That moment was a turning point. If I had gone into panic mode, taken another loan, or tried to scale without a solid foundation, I would have lost everything. And I know many of you are probably in a similar position facing setbacks, financial struggles, or obstacles that feel insurmountable. But I'm here to tell you something important. Every setback has a hidden opportunity. The challenge is part of the process. And as long as you learn to navigate the tough times with the right mindset, you'll emerge stronger. Every failure, every mistake is just one step closer to real success. It's not about avoiding the hard times. It's about how you handle them when they come. And here's the key takeaway. Don't let your fear of failure hold you back. Sometimes the only way out is through. And when you finally get through, you'll have something much more valuable than just money. You'll have experience, resilience, and trust from your audience. But just when I thought I had it all figured out, something unexpected happened that threw me off track again. Something that made me rethink everything I thought I knew about business, and I can't wait to share that with you. Stay tuned, because in the next segment, I'll reveal the ultimate lesson I learned and how it completely flipped my perspective on entrepreneurship. This concludes the challenge segment, where we ramp up the tension and build emotional engagement. Next, we'll dive into the plot twist and then the outro. Let me know your thoughts, and we can continue with the final parts. Great! Let's now dive into the plot twist section, where we reveal the unexpected turn that changes everything for the audience. This will give them a deeper insight into your journey and keep them hooked. The unseen opportunity. Just when I thought I had seen it all, life threw me a curveball. I thought I was ready for anything. I had learned the hard way, avoided the traps, and even turned a near failure into a victory. But then, out of nowhere, something happened that completely changed my perspective. It was an email from a well-known investor, someone I had admired but never thought would notice my little business. At first, I thought it was just spam. But when I opened it, I couldn't believe what I was reading. The investor was offering me the chance to collaborate with them, to scale my business with their expertise and resources. They had been following my journey and they were impressed. At that moment, I realized something I hadn't considered before. The challenges I faced weren't just obstacles. They were opportunities. But I had to be willing to change my mindset to see them. All those mistakes, all those failures, they weren't roadblocks. They were stepping stones. Every single mistake had brought me one step closer to this opportunity. I had the scars to prove it, but they had made me stronger, more resilient, and most importantly, they had prepared me for this moment. A new way of thinking. This is where the real plot twist happens. You see, we're often taught that success comes from avoiding failure, from playing it safe, from always having the perfect plan. But the truth is, success is born from resilience. It's born from embracing failure, from learning from it, and using it to fuel your growth. By letting go of the fear of failure and being open to the unexpected, I created room for real growth. This partnership was the result of everything I'd gone through, not despite it. The struggles weren't failures, they were lessons, and they led me to this point. From there, everything changed. With the right guidance and the resources I never imagined I'd have access to, I was able to scale faster and smarter. I was able to invest in the right areas, hire the right people, and most importantly, keep my focus on what mattered, delivering value to my customers. And here's the biggest lesson I learned. Success doesn't come from avoiding failure. It comes from embracing it. The obstacles you face, they are the exact things that will prepare you for the breakthrough you're waiting for. It's not about avoiding risk, it's about learning how to navigate through it, adapting, and using your experiences to build a foundation that lasts. So, if you're facing challenges in your business, don't run away from them. Don't shy away from failure. Embrace it, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Because if I can do a turning failures into opportunity, so can you. In the next video, I'll be diving deeper into the strategies that help me scale my business in ways I never thought possible. And trust me, the journey doesn't stop here. I'm going to share the secrets that turned everything around, and you're not going to want to miss it. The bigger picture. So now that you've seen how my journey unfolded, it's time to take your own steps toward building something great. If you're dealing with challenges or setbacks in your business, Remember, you don't have to face them alone. I've been through the ups and downs, and I'm here to show you how to turn those struggles into your greatest strength. Make sure you check out my other videos, especially the one on how I overcame my biggest financial mistakes is packed with insights you won't want to miss if you're serious about growing your business. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and join me on this journey. Let's grow together. And if you found this video helpful, share it with someone who could use this information. I promise, they'll thank you later. Let's make sure no one ever feels like they have to face these challenges alone.